Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
It's The In Show, Australia's only show dedicated to innovation from Adelaide, Australia and across the globe.
It's David Grice and Troy Sincock talking to startups and entrepreneurs, innovators, people with big ideas, and we're entered into the Australian Podcast Awards. You can check it out at australianpodcastawards.com, and there's a popular vote, so you are responsible for making us popular, which has never happened before. But if we can just ask you to vote, please.
Yeah, please. I mean, we think that we've got 2 votes already. You voted, I've voted. So let's hope we get a few more than that.
If we can make it into double figures, I'll be pretty happy with that, to be honest.
Totally. And if we even get to triple figures, it'd be absolutely amazing.
It really would. But if you enjoyed the show, make sure you go to australianpodcastawards.com. We're not all about awards here, but we reckon it's a pretty good thing to be part of.
And today, Troy, we're going to talk about the environment.
I was talking to a friend the other day who's studying hairdressing, and she told me about this incredible innovation that now gives this girl who simply wanted to become a hairdresser the opportunity to really contribute to the environment. And joining us is Emma Saunders from Sustainable Salons to tell us all about this incredible innovation. How are you doing, Emma?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sustainable Salons Australia. There's something in the name already, but tell us, what are you guys up to?
So what we are is a comprehensive resource recovery unit. So we will collect 95% of your salon waste. So I'll tell you what we don't collect. We don't collect like food matter or organic matter, but we will collect the majority bulk of the materials that your salon will produce in waste.
Everyone's been in a situation where they're the next appointment at the hairdresser and you're sitting there and just watching all this hair fall to the floor, and then someone sweeps it up afterwards, and there's, for some people it's an enormous amount of hair, and you just kind of wonder, what's going on there? What does happen to it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very common question in the salon world, like, what do you do with all the hair? So regularly the answer will be, we just collect it up and just put it in the bin. Whereas when we collect it through Sustainable Salons, we actually put it into the hair boom projects. So what the hair boom projects are is literally these hair booms that we've collected all the hair, put them in these nylon stockings, put them in the ocean, and they will absorb the oil spills within the Great Barrier Reef.
Unbelievable.
Which is amazing, yeah.
So obviously someone has figured out how much hair absorbs oil and is able to use this in an incredible way. Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so it's no longer waste. It is literally, saving our planet, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how did it all come about? Is it because hair would absorb oil naturally anyway on our heads, I suppose?
Yeah. That's what it does. Yeah. So it's incredible how it actually does it. It absorbs it literally like straight away and separates the oil from the water. So
wow.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So I'm a salon. Mm-hmm. And I've swept all this hair up. What happens? So you guys come around and pick it up? Is that how it works?
Yeah. So we provide the salon with separate bins. So all the waste will be separated. So you'll receive a hair bin, a metal bin, a plastic bin, and a paper bin. So with the salon separating the waste for us, it allows us to collect it and divert it to where it needs to go. So everything's provided to the salon to make it easier. We also have a driver that comes and collects the waste for the salon as well. So the hardest part of the program for them is just separating it. And you find a lot of the salons actually enjoy that part. It allows them to see, the different types of materials and, how much waste the salon is actually producing on a daily basis. And I think it makes them feel really good to be able to see the amount of waste that we collect that does get diverted from going to landfill.
So it's not just the hair, is it? It's other things as well. What else
absolutely.
are you collecting for the salons?
So as I said, the metals, which is a huge part of the salon environment. So they'll consist of like your foils, your tint tubes, anything that's metal. It is the only infinitely recyclable material on the planet. So it is something that we really do want to deter from going to landfill. So once we do collect it, we sell it. We are a non-profit organisation, though, in terms of what we collect for your waste. So all the profits that we make from your waste, which is like your metals and your paper, is then donated to a foundation called OzHarvest.
And what do OzHarvest do?
So OzHarvest are a food collection service. So they will drive around to various supermarkets, restaurants, farmers markets, anywhere there's like a lot of mass food production. They will collect the food and then distribute it to various communities. So within our program, since it started, we've fed over 46,000 homeless people through our donations with just waste.
Fantastic.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. So not only are there the implications for recycling, you're feeding people, there's the opportunity to, assist with, significant disasters as well. It's got all these implications.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this initiative only started a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, about 2 years ago. The founders are Paul and Evelina, who are just the most amazing people I've ever met. They truly are problem solvers. The fusion of those two coming together was very unique. Paul was a hairdresser. Evelina was in sustainable fashion. Just them coming together and wanting to solve this problem, it's just really created this amazing program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so Sustainable Salons, can everyday salons sign up to be part of this program?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, like, every salon's different, big, small, one person owner. Like, the waste is still exactly the same. Everybody can sign up.
There's a real burning question I'm sure a lot of our listeners have probably got. What happens to all of the hair you collect?
Yeah. Well,
where does it go?
So what we do is we are Australia-wide. So each state has its different little storage facilities. So we will collect the waste. It will then go to the storage facility. It will then get transported over to New South Wales and then hand sorted. Everything is hand sorted. So this is why it's so important that the waste does get separated because, it just allows us to divert it to exactly where it goes. So once it does hit New South Wales, the waste is all separated. It then gets diverted to various different depots where they, recycle either the metal, the paper, plastic. Plastic's actually been turned into building plastic now. We're actually lining the NBN with the hard plastic that we are donating from shampoo and conditioner bottles. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, right?
Wow.
Because, it's going to be in the ground for over 1,000 years, so very sustainable in that type of form. And as we know, plastic is, it's suffocating our planet. So the fact that we can actually divert it and turn it into something that's more useful is a very cool thing.
And so do you know what the process is with the actual hair? Like, how do they, hold it together?
Yeah, so it's like a nylon stocking. So think of a very thick lady stocking. I think it's used with plumbers. We literally get a stocking. We stuff it with hair. We collect dog hair as well.
Wow.
Which it works the same way as human hair. So we are in dog parlours, which is really quite cool. They just basically get stuffed into this almost looks like a pillow, really. And then they just go into the ocean. A regular size hair boom will absorb about 4 litres of oil. Once it is in the ocean, we can then take them out and extract 3 litres back. The hair boom will probably go into the ocean around about 3 or 4 times until it does reach its capacity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you do stuff with ponytails as well.
We do.
So tell us about that. That's really intriguing.
The ponytails, great story. Look, this is just something we are super proud of. We have been overwhelmed with the amount of ponytail donations that we have received since the program has started. We are a big donor in the Variety charity. But what makes us very unique is when we do collect the hair is that we collect 20 centimetres and we take coloured hair as well. So what this has actually done is it's really opened up the donations in the fact that normally it would only be virgin hair, which is very sort of limited. But, now that we're taking all types of hair, we've just been overwhelmed with it, which is incredible. So, last year we had over 26,000 ponytail donations.
Wow.
And what happens to those ponytails?
Unreal. So all the virgin hair gets donated to the Variety charity, obviously because it's a children's charity, whereas the other hair, once it comes to us, it will be graded for the quality and length. It will then be sent off to a wig maker that makes it into that quality of wig, and then it gets distributed to various charities for, other various illnesses, cancer, alopecia and things like that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's such a beautiful story. And, the amazing thing in it really warms my heart is the amount of children who donate their hair. It really just gives me goosebumps to think about, all these kids that just want to donate their hair. And, you ask them the question, why are you donating your hair today? And they're like, well, my hair grows back. theirs won't. And you're just like, it's an amazing thing. So it's really, it's probably one of my favourite stories out of the whole program, the fact that we've literally, become one of the world's largest donor in ponytails through our donations with our program, which is really, really cool.
It's, this is all incredible. Is this the end game, or is there still more research being done beyond this point?
Yeah, so I don't think there is an end game with this type of thing. It's always going to be, like a constant revolving door, if you will, with waste. Whereas, we are creating a movement with this, and people are becoming more aware of what is actually happening with their waste. But I don't think it will ever be an end. It definitely, with Paul and Evelina for sure, they're just, problem solvers to the end. So they will constantly be trying to solve a problem and, working on this program and taking it to the next level. There's no doubt about that. So
fantastic. Emma Saunders from Sustainable Salons Australia, thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations on this amazing innovation.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
To find out more, just go to sustainablesalons.com.au.
And the next podcast, Troy, is all about inspiration. One of my favourite times of the week, and I love going into the weekend knowing that, we've just got a few little nuggets to take with us.
Yeah, now this guy, his story is absolutely incredible, from making an app that was just taking the mickey to now sort of working with like Disney and on Star Wars and that kind of stuff. You would think this guy would be such a high roller that really, he'd know it all. But what he's inspired by is one of the most human things.
Yeah, look, it just goes to show that no matter what these guys are doing, they are just normal human beings.
Exactly, and sometimes we forget that. The amount of work that goes into being an innovator, and the sacrifices required, and the time spent away from family, and just everything that needs to be done to get these ideas up really takes something. You're going to be really inspired by who we speak to on the next In-Show podcast.
The In-Show Interview. Subscribe to the In-Show podcast on iTunes. A Dave and the Beanstalk production.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.